The woman spat out a yellow egg from her mouth. Then she fed it to the girl across from her. Then the girl turned into a scary bug beast. Today is Alice's first hunt as a bug beast. The man across had been waiting for a long time once again. Seeing a charming young lady like Alice, the man seemed a bit shy. "Beauty, I know there is a nice hotel nearby. Would you like Big Brother to take you to play some games?" Alice blushed shyly after hearing that. "You are so naughty." Alice took off her mask in the midst of conversation. This immediately stirred up a wave of spring feelings in the man. Alice took the opportunity to tiptoe. She kissed the man directly. This happiness came a bit too suddenly. But the next second, the man's eyes widened. His skin was quickly drying up at a speed visible to the naked eye. Alice didn't stop until she sucked him dry. The man who fell to the ground obviously had stopped breathing. At this moment, another beauty walked down the alley. It was the woman who fed Alice the egg. She held Alice tightly, as if to show that she was her plaything. "Sweetheart, how does it feel to hunt for the first time?" "Not bad, she tastes delicious." At the same time, on a rapidly moving subway train, a mister with a very unnatural expression was muttering to himself. This inevitably attracted strange glances from the crowd. Just saw Mr. suddenly opening his big mouth, revealing gullet inside with sharp teeth. The few people in front of him were instantly impaled by him. This scene immediately caused panic among the others. At this moment, Mr. transformed into the Grim Reaper, continuously harvesting the lives of the people in the carriage. Not long after, there were no more screams in the carriage. Only Mr. remained there, twisting his strange body. On the other side, Nami was walking on her way to school. Suddenly, she noticed a familiar figure ahead. It was Ryan, the person she secretly admired. So Nami hurried forward to say hello. "Good morning, Ryan." But when she saw Ryan's face, she was almost scared to death. "What's wrong with you?" Ryan could only explain that he got into a fight with someone. He can't possibly tell her that he was beaten up by Bug Beast yesterday. Upon returning to the classroom, Nami saw Alice lost and thought right away. Nami happily pounced on the other person. Nami saw her best friend recovered. Nami excitedly shed tears. "I didn't see you when I went to the hospital last time. Do you know how worried I was?" "Sorry, Nami. I didn't want anyone to see my current hairstyle at that time." The two of them chatted and laughed as if they were back to the beginning. But suddenly an unexpected guest interrupted their conversation. This person is Eric, who caused Alice to be hospitalized. At this moment, he not only does not feel sorry for Alice, he also keeps mocking Alice's scars, saying they are disgusting. Her hairstyle is so ugly. This immediately provoked Alice into a rage. She wanted to swallow him whole right now, if she could. But before she could make a move, Nami next to her landed a punch on Eric. The usually gentle Nami started cursing Eric out loudly. Would Alice be in her current state if it weren't for your cowardice and self-preservation? Nami's intervention helped ease Alice's anger, although Eric apologized. But obviously, he was still unwilling deep down. "You guys wait for me." Ryan also noticed the anomaly in Alice's anger just now. This is obviously not a human scent. In the other train car, the murderer known as Mr. had completely transformed into a huge flesh worm when a man, with a Reaper emblem on his clothes, entered the carriage. This person is none other than young brother Jack from the squad. Old brother Jace is the one who walked in through the front door. Their arrival immediately caused Bug Beast's dissatisfaction. The two of them blocked Bug Beast in the middle one after the other. "The doctor asks us to take this back for research. Be careful not to break it." This sentence instantly enraged the giant worm, and it opened its mouth towards the brother. But before it could make a sound, Jack stabbed it with a knife. And then he made sure to fire a few shots as well. "I've reminded you not to break it, haven't I?" But before Jace could finish his sentence, he was immediately knocked aside by the giant worm. "No way, bro, are you dead?" And the Bug Beast seized the opportunity. It used its tail to firmly press down on Jack. Just with this strength alone, it cannot overpower me. You are far inferior to my older brother. He lifted the entire giant worm up into the air. Jace took advantage of the opportunity and struck with his knife. He actually cut the giant worm in half. Just as the two of them were about to pack up and take the giant worm with them, a mini little worm crawled out of the body of the giant worm. The little worm looked up at Jace. Then its body shot into his head like a bullet. Watching his brother's body tremble non-stop, Jack quickly asked, "What's wrong?" The next second, it was as if nothing had happened at all. There was just a strange thing wandering around on his forehead. The girl simply ate an egg that someone fed her. As a result, she turned into a terrifying bloodthirsty bug beast. After she absorbed the essence of a man, she then pretended as if nothing had happened and went back to school. After school, the few people prepared to eat together. As a result, halfway there, Alice received a text message. Soon after, she made an excuse saying she had something to attend to and needed to leave early. Nami reluctantly suggested that they could reschedule for tomorrow. But when Alice left, Ryan was staring at her back thoughtfully. Later, Nami and the two of them prepared to go home together. But she suddenly remembered that Alice's homework was still in her own backpack. The teacher is going to check it tomorrow. She said goodbye to Ryan and planned to deliver it to Alice. However, she was suddenly stopped by Ryan. "Danger, don't go." Ryan's words made Nami a little dazed. "I mean, Alice just got out of the hospital. The teacher will understand." On the other side, Alice saw the person who was messaging her. She licked her lips as she saw her prey. Then she climbed into the man's car. Eric, not far away, happened to witness the scene. From the looks of the two, it was clear that this was definitely not a father-daughter relationship. Afterward, Eric flashed a playful smile. Clara has been resting at home since she was injured last time. She decided to do something to find out the leader of the Skyworm organization, Brad. At night, Clara dressed in a cool outfit, walking in the night market. She never expected that Red Card's address was a club. She knew it was unusually popular just by looking at the long line at the entrance. She wanted to contact Ryan to come for an investigation. Unexpectedly, she was refused. Just as she was going crazy because of this, someone suddenly appeared behind her and called out to her. "Is the beauty by herself? I feel like your back looks familiar." Clara also feels that this person's voice sounds like it's been heard somewhere before. So she turned her head curiously. She found that the person who was fighting with him and Ryan, Camille Clara, followed the other person into the club. She found that it was bustling here. Inside were all young and beautiful young ladies, and the atmosphere was pretty good. But Clara knew that things here were not as simple as they seemed on the surface. So she took out the red card from her chest and said, "I was invited here. You're not just going to show me these things, are you?" Camille seemed to have already expected the card. "Since that's the case, I'll take you to see something exciting." The two walked through the corridor and arrived at an elevator lobby. The red card is used to activate the elevator, and only VIP customers have such a card. Soon, the elevator door slowly opened. Clara was even more shocked by what she saw inside. Because the bug beasts and humans were actually mixed together here. Underneath is a rectangular fighting arena. Humans and bug beasts on the field are fighting each other. The audience on the stands are desperately shouting and cheering. Soon, the bug beast on the field fell victim to a poisonous attack. It died at the hands of several humans. However, at this moment, another huge bug beast appeared in front of everyone. It emitted a terrifying roar. Then it lifted its leg and stomped on several humans, crushing them into pulp. Watching the humans and bug beast Clara cheering together on stage, I didn't understand why two different species could mix freely here. Camille seems to have noticed Clara's confusion. "You really don't understand humans. They can do anything for power and wealth." As soon as he finished speaking, The huge bug beast in the field was pierced through the body. It turns out a red bug beast attacked the giant worm from behind. Clara doesn't understand the meaning behind this kind of violence. Camel explains that this not only can bring people pleasure and excitement. The most important thing is that they have the opportunity to become members of the Skyworm organization. Camel took out a yellow egg and asked Clara if she was interested in trying it. Clara accepted his kind offer. While she was looking at the egg and asking for instructions on how to use it, Camel was stopped by another bug beast that came rushing over. The boss has been waiting for you in the private room for a long time. Camel turned around and intended to let Clara wait here for a while. He didn't expect that the other party used a stomachache as an excuse and got on the departing elevator. Clara didn't let go of her hanging heart until the elevator doors closed. Damn, Ryan stood me up. At this moment, Bug Beast reminded Camel to go over again. However, Camel, who was impatient, chopped off its head. And he shook his hand very contemptuously. The next morning, Clara arrived at school. She couldn't help but feel annoyed when she saw Ryan being leisurely. So she kicked Ryan right away. Then she said while hitting him, "Do you know what I went through yesterday?" After learning that Clara had obtained useful information, Ryan gave her a thumbs up. At this moment, the classmates in the classroom were whispering about something. When Alice walked into the classroom, the murmuring voices seemed to grow louder. Everyone cast a look of disdain towards her. Listening to the classmates' foul language, Nami raised a question. "What are you all talking about?" At this time, the annoying Eric stood up again. He mentioned that he had already posted the recorded news of the explosion on the school's website. He then handed the recorded video to the two of them. The video showed Alice and an old man walking into the hotel. Then Eric made a disgusted expression. "You are looking for shortcuts because you can't make money, right?" Clara almost wanted to kick him to death. Ryan on the side once again felt that familiar aura, and this time it was definitely dangerous. Nami is also on the brink of going berserk. Finally, she couldn't control herself and swung her fist at Eric again. But halfway there, she was intercepted by Alice. "Nami, thank you. You will always be my best friend." After saying that, she pushed with both hands. "This time, let me handle it myself." Nami was then pushed out of the door by her. Eric was unaware of the impending danger. He continued to mock Alice with his words. Unexpectedly, Alice burst into wild laughter upon hearing it. "I had originally planned to keep you alive longer. I didn't expect you to be so eager to die." The two ignorant individuals were completely unaware that danger was imminent. One of them boldly stepped forward. "How much can you earn at once?" "I made a good amount of money delivering packages. Would you consider it?" He didn't even wait for him to finish speaking before noticing the bulging veins on the person's neck. Suddenly, Alice turned her head. 5 big eyes stared at the other person intently. This is a girl who has been beautified. The tongue she spits out of her mouth can instantly claim lives. The girl turned into this state is entirely Eric's fault. At that time, a sudden bug beast incident occurred at the school. Eric held onto Alice to save his life. He threw her towards Bug Beast, causing Alice to be disfigured. Eric not only felt no remorse in his heart. Now he even slanders Alice and mixes with the old man. Alice, who is insulted again, no longer conceals. She directly reveals her true face in front of her classmates. The voice of the boy who was just joking about Alice suddenly stopped abruptly. Ryan and Clara standing beside her were also shocked to see her appearance. Alice glared angrily at the boy in front of her. Then she casually punched him, sending him flying out. Others went crazy and ran towards the door when they saw what was happening. Alice, on the other hand, slowly raised her hand. Suddenly, her arm seemed to stretch several meters, directly blocking her classmates' way. The wooden door was also blocked by chair legs and couldn't be opened. Nami heard a commotion inside. She couldn't help but feel puzzled. The furniture inside blocked the other doorway tightly. Clara wanted to transform, but was stopped by Ryan. It was too obvious here. Alice saw Eric taking out his phone to call the police. She directly shouted, "Get out!" Eric was scared and hid in the crowd, too afraid to speak. The classmates, sensing the situation, all tactfully took a step back. They left Eric standing where he was. Alice reached out her arm again, grabbing Eric by the neck. "It's all your fault. Why did you trample on my dreams, causing me to become like this?" Alice opened her big mouth as she spoke, revealing a gullet with teeth inside. The next second, the gullet was right in front of Eric. Just as Gullet opened its big mouth ready to eat Eric, suddenly, a loud shout made Alice stop attacking, only to see Ryan walking out of the crowd. He kindly persuaded Alice to stop. "If you kill Eric now, how do you think Nami will feel when she sees it? Aren't you her best friend?" At this moment, knocking sounds can also be heard at the door from Nami. "Alice, are you okay? Please open the door quickly." It's too late for Eric to ask for mercy at this point. Then he shouted frantically at his classmates again. "Why haven't you contacted the Reaper department yet?" But who wants to stand out at this moment? Eric was so angry that he scolded everyone present. Ryan just looked on coldly. He had no intention of taking action. At this moment, Alice suddenly called out to Ryan. "Please give me some time. Please don't request assistance for now." After saying that, she forcefully pushed Eric against the wall. "Eric, you listen to me carefully. All of this is your own fault." Alice only saw reached into her backpack. Then she took out a yellow egg from it. Then she pried open Eric's mouth. "Killing you directly may not resolve the hatred in my heart. Letting you taste my current pain might." Although Eric knows that Alice has something bad in her hand, no matter how he struggles, his mouth still gets bigger and bigger. In the end, he could only watch helplessly as the egg fell into his mouth. Eric, who swallowed the egg, immediately had a reaction. His body kept twisting. His clothes were slowly being stretched to bursting, and his neck was getting longer. His facial features were also visibly changing at a rapid pace. At this moment, Clara suddenly remembered something. Wasn't the egg that Eric had just eaten the kind that Camel gave him? Looking at Eric now, he had completely transformed into an ugly bug beast. He tried to call for help but could only let out strange roars. Alice on the side expressed great satisfaction with this. "You can understand my feelings now, right?" At this time, there was another knock on the door. It turned out that Nami was worried about Alice and brought the class teacher. In the end, Alice asked Ryan for one thing. "Take care of Nami for me. I won't see her again in the future. I now hate humanity." After saying that, her body leaned back. She fled from this upsetting place. On the other side, the classroom door was forcefully kicked open. The teacher walked in grumbling. When he saw the bug beast in the classroom, he immediately shut his mouth. The boy who was knocked out by Alice also slowly regained consciousness. He mistakenly thought that the bug beast in front of him was transformed by Alice. He then took out his phone and quickly called the Reaper department. Nami believed it to be true. But in order to protect Alice, she immediately snatched the other person's phone. But in the struggle between the two, the phone accidentally slipped away. The phone happened to fall right in front of Bug Beast. At this moment, a voice from the Reaper department came through the phone. "May I help you with something?" Eric tried to ask for help, but all that came out of his mouth were whimpering sounds. To figure out what was going on, he turned his head and looked at the glass behind him. He only then realized that he had turned into Bug Beast Eric, angrily smashing the glass in front of him. Because he could not accept reality, he wildly waved his two tails. Clara quickly saved a girl with her quick hands and eyes, while his other tail came to Nami's side. At a critical moment, Ryan leaped forward and protected Nami in his arms. At this moment, Eric let out a reluctant roar. But in order to save his life, he could only break the window and leave here. After landing, he dashed away towards the distance with a strange dance move. Ryan glanced at Clara. Clara nodded in understanding. Subsequently, the two of them began to track. Clara mentioned that Alice must be associated with the Skyworm organization, because the egg she just took out is the same as the one inside Club 6. Ryan left an ant mark on Alice. The two of them chased after Alice at high speed. Soon the two caught up with a bridge tunnel below. They found Alice alone in front wiping tears. Alice also noticed someone approaching. "We have something to discuss with you. Please talk to us." But as soon as he finished speaking, the two of them were shocked by what happened before their eyes. Their eyes widened in disbelief. It turned out that Alice was not alone here. Another figure was slowly emerging before their eyes. "What I hate the most is when someone else messes with my things. So no matter who you are, it will be difficult to leave here alive today. This is an exceptionally ferocious bug beast. As long as she moves her tongue, she can easily defeat the humans who provoke her. However, even such a powerful being is just a plaything in the hands of others." Just now, Alice stuffed dozens of eggs into Eric's mouth. The next second, Eric turned into an ugly bug beast. After doing all this, Alice escaped to a place where no one was. Ryan and two others tracked and found this place. But what they didn't know was that Alice's master had been waiting here for a long time. "I hate it when people mess with my things. Today, you all must die." Just as the words fell, the figure of Ariel was miraculously disappearing. Ryan suddenly felt that something was terribly wrong. She hurriedly pulled Clara aside and took a heavy blow from Ariel herself. At the same time as she kicked Ryan away, Ariel raised her fist again. She attacked Clara, but it was just a feint. Suddenly, she moved quickly to Clara's side. "You look pretty good, little girl." The next second, she appeared behind her. "I really can't bear to kill you." After speaking, she bit Clara's little ear. Purple blood flowed from her mouth. Clara reacted and threw a punch to push her back. Ariel wiped the blood off the corner of her mouth. "So you are also a bug beast. What a pity." Clara is thoroughly enraged. She directly transformed into a bug beast and attacked Ariel. "So it's just a silk moth, but your attack is too slow." Thinking of this, Ariel couldn't help but glance at Ryan. He should also be a bug beast, right? Sure enough, at this moment, Ryan had already transformed into a bug and was punching towards her. But Ariel easily dodged with her elusive agility. "Attacks like yours are impossible to hit me. My ability is not only invisibility, but also precognition of your attacks." At this moment, Alice by the side is also extremely shocked, because she also just found out that Ryan and the others are bug beasts. This is not the first time the two of them have worked together. They quickly came up with a plan. Ryan once again swung his fist towards Ariel. Ariel, who had intended to dodge, suddenly felt a sharp pain in his neck. It turns out that Clara had already laid a trap around her. But this also successfully angered Ariel. "Dare to touch me, you're dead." Ryan paid no attention to her threats at all. He hit Ariel's face hard with his fist. This punch made Ariel spit out a mouthful of blood directly. At the same time, a sharp bone spur grew out of Ariel's arm. "How dare you make me bleed?" With that, he stabbed into Ryan's chest. And this bone spur is still absorbing Ryan's blood. But Ariel, seeing this, was nothing short of surprised. "Why is your blood red?" Seeing Ryan injured, Clara hurriedly rushed over. Ariel looked at the other party coldly. Slowly, she raised her left hand and aimed it at her. Then her left hand suddenly extended several meters. Bone spur pierced into Clara's shoulder. Ariel pulled out the bone spur. Clara said the attack just now was like scratching an itch. As she spoke, she charged towards Ariel again. Ariel remained calm, licking the blood off the needle point. Shortly after, Ryan and Clara's injured areas began to swell continuously. After 2 explosions, the two of them were obviously seriously injured. "I had just warmed up. Can't you two keep up?" Ariel raised her arm and prepared to take them down. But at that moment, Alice suddenly appeared and stood in front of the two people. She said, "This is my client. I invited them here to trade the egg." You know the consequences of lying to me, right? After receiving Alice's approval, Ariel immediately changed her attitude. "Oh, you're one of us. I almost got you killed. But I only have one egg on me. Who should use it first?" Ryan said, "We don't need it right away. Can you introduce the function of the egg first? Don't you know? If Bug Beast eats it directly, it will increase some of its strength. If an ordinary person eats it, they will transform into a larva like Alice. At this point, consuming the larva will double their power." The two people were shocked to hear this. Doesn't that mean it's equivalent to eating people directly? Just at this moment, two unlucky runners happened to pass by. Ariel said, "Let me show you once, and you'll understand." Then she stopped the two young men. Taking advantage of one of them not reacting fast enough, she directly stuffed the egg into the person's mouth. The boy's body quickly began to change. The next moment, he transformed into an ugly larva. Although they had just experienced this kind of thing, the two of them were still shocked. This can be considered as a gift for your meeting. As long as you eat it, you will become stronger. You enjoy it slowly. If you need anything, just come to Club 6 and find me. After Ariel left, Larva targeted its companion. However, Ryan arrived and punched Larva away. Then he clasped his hands together and struck Larva's head repeatedly. Clara behind him tried to stop Ryan, but he told her to shut up. Seeing Ryan's next move, Clara hurried forward to intervene. "You lunatic! You're not really going to eat it, are you? It was just a human a moment ago," she said. But Ryan remained indifferent and ordered, "Do not hinder my experiment. Eat it." With his command, all the black ants gathered around Larva's body. Ryan looked on coldly at everything. But at the same time, this also made Clara completely disappointed in Ryan. You know that this is no different from cannibalism, right? Why go to such lengths? What's the difference between what you're doing and those people from the Skyworm organization? I must have been blind to collaborate with you. Ryan just gave her a glance at her words. You better take a good look at it for me. Only saw the larva on the ground was rapidly undergoing changes. In the blink of an eye, it had a hint of a human appearance. All of this was within Ryan's expectations. Clara curiously asked what was going on. Ryan started his research as soon as he noticed that Alice had a problem. Now he could only test if it works. He had just finished speaking when the man on the ground opened his mouth in agony. The egg that he had just eaten was dragged out by an ant. This thing is the main culprit that turns people into bug beasts. Watching ant continuously nibble on the eggs on the ground, Clara can't help but worry about Ryan. Will these ants eating the eggs affect you? I'm not sure either. We'll know once they get back into their bodies. The eggs on the ground were quickly eaten up. When they returned to Ryan's body, Ryan immediately sensed something was wrong. Seeing Ryan in pain, Clara was also very worried. Are you okay? Ryan suddenly turned around and shouted at Clara upon hearing her words. Get away from me quickly. With Ant's return, the blue veins on Ryan's neck suddenly bulged. These ants seemed to be trying to break free from Ryan's control. Inevitably, Ryan let out a painful roar.